So it turns out I forgot to change the thumbnail, and it shows me and Karen. Eh. Ladies and gentlemen, I am General Griswold Gaius Grim of the 1st LARP Ingression Protocol, joined today for this Fringe encounter with Agent69, who I encountered as, like, I know you're hanging around the Discord sewers of this corner of the internet via the way I've met you. Um, and let you introduce yourself to the audience once everybody gets their savings throws. So please select one from either survival, social, wisdom, or heart. And that's the yellow die for Agent 69. Oh, that's gonna be fun. Good, good. Everybody else, well, they can pick their own savings throw also. But here are your associated numbers for those savings throws. Remember, assuming you don't have any bonuses or a magical hat, it has to be over 10 or you take full damage from the following mind control. Survivalists with a 4, so you're going to have to earn a +6 or be in trouble. Socialists, also a 4. Welcome aboard, sir. You're in the cult and don't know it now. If you fail to... Sophists, lovers of wisdom with 17, Achilles made it. And those of you with heart, holy smokes, you're immune to this whole episode, so it must be a dark one. Hi. Who are you? Yeah, I think we'll call Agent 69 the system then, because like in multiple collective, the multiple personality does not that it's inappropriate to call it that. It's not that. It's dissociative identity disorder, which I think can be screen use induced. Holy smokes, that acronym is starting to look like suicided. What? I hate it. Sometimes I accidentally unlock secrets of the universe as I'm trying to entertain people on the internet. I'm botching your audio. No, I did it again. There's like, okay, so like in role playing games you have to make a skill savings throw, and I have failed one once again. Because the audio being not broadcast to the audience is the one that comes out of my TV until now.
So we have no audio.
No, they just couldn't hear you for any of that.
Well, maybe that's for the best. We can disseminate the information slowly then.
Oh, but we do have a secret. You're obtaining your own recording, in which your audio is present. So if we can assign the appropriate monkeys and/or do it ourselves, we could reduce an end product with your audio still intact. Thank you, Brad, for letting us know.
How many monkeys do we have to do that?
You know, the thing is, it turns out monkeys are sub-personas like me and yourself, often in severe denial of the systems in which they reside. So you can't really point out and call them monkeys because, like, you don't know if that monkey is going to manifest reliably for the project at hand.
I see.
Their snitch has to be interested in it. and guide their
Is
attention to it. And then they usually like, hey, I can do that, and then they help and it's done. But we haven't managed to figure out a good see, I think one of the things I want to try, because okay, let me just like, Discord well enough, I can roll this out.
little bit, yeah.
It's like there's the stupid emojis you can put on things,
Yes, yes.
and every server can do a custom one.
Hmm.
And there's these things called NFTs, which just stands for non-fungible token, which
Oh, okay, yeah.
which essentially means that the cloud address of whatever it is, it can be an image, a video, a deed to your house, whatever the non-fungible thing referenced in this storage thing is mediated by some third party that makes it an NFT and something you can sell to somebody else. So the notion is for each of, like, I don't know, the set of four die bonus, like right now they're serving as bonuses to people's next savings throw.
Hmm.
So like if people put their content in the town square, like our good friend what's his face Batman did, um, then they're awarded by based on how many of those emojis the community clicks on. So like I say it gets a social +3, you agree, and you click that social, and so do two other people. On the next savings throw, they'll have a +4 to their social for sharing in the town square.
Oh, neat.
Now, if the NFTs that represent those emojis are NFTs, then the value of those NFTs can be determined by the amount of emoji uses on the Discord server that's represented
Oh.
by that NFT. And then you can get into it like participation has potential monetary value. And why cryptocurrency and Discord emojis haven't been well integrated yet, I'm really unsure. But I think it probably has something to do with evil corporations and people not putting their eggs in front of the people they don't want to see them.
Oh,
But
very interesting.
that out of my head now. Could you please introduce yourself to everybody who hasn't heard the recorded part?
I am Agent69 of Secret Radio, which is currently no longer on the air for the time being. And yeah, there's an entire story to that, but that's who I am. Part of the Klaatu Collective, which was a collective of personalities that got cobbled together after my psyche was fractured during 1999 due to the Y2K meme, my Y2K Psy attack. And here I am. This is what
Secret
brings me here.
radio. If my ears did not deceive me.
Maybe it's a good pun. Secret radio.
Secret.
It's a yeah, secret
Secret.
radio.
Well, that's a terrible mimetic label, sir. No wonder people can't see it right now. It's a secret. He only broadcasts to I don't know,
It
Five
was
Eyes
it was on
probably.
it was on air. Yeah, it was on air for quite a while.
It was up for
So
public consumption.
it was broadcast throughout the world through like various channels. So it may be played even as far as Europe. But at weird hours, you had to find it at weird times. So and there was a couple people that were. I had this weird Facebook page where I would post the adventures cryptically of like the how did I call it? I called it the quasi-fictional sci-fi, quasi-fictional espionage sci-fi narrative of Agent 69. And then I would have my show listings and stuff like that. I created a website for it for a bit. And then I'd put my show postings and also like little kind of like cryptic things of like what was going on in my world as I infiltrated the community that I'm currently in. And yeah.
So, essentially, you did what I'm trying to do and have a whole bunch of skills I can milk from your brain.
Yeah, I don't know if I did successfully or not.
Well,
I had
that last part sounded a lot like cross-platform integration, and the first
yeah.
part sounded like you were Christian Bale in not Christian Bale. He was Christian Slater And what do you recall what programming that was?
Oh, are you
Where he gets
are you
chased
talking?
down by the FCC and they have to triangulate his position.
Oh, oh yes, yes, yes. I remember that. Yes,
Pump
yes.
up the volume with just
Excellent soundtrack featuring the Pixies.
coincidence or programming. You decide.
And that was also one of the fundamental movies that I watched on psychedelics in 1999 that may or may not have contributed to the Psi attack. Um, yeah, Fight Club. Where's My Mind? Classic track.
Oh, that's when he shoots the wrong one gets shot in the head.
I don't. Yes, that's when it was still okay to have buildings exploding at the base and falling down because things hadn't happened quite as drastically yet.
And for those of you who didn't receive that programming, the buildings exploding and falling down was the debt record being
Yes,
erased.
yes, yes.
I don't understand. I'd have to get like Rich Rollins from Pajot's little The Rest is History. No, what do they call it? Universal History. Um, but I understand it to be the case that Jubilee was a Roman thing where everybody's debts were dropped to zero.
Oh yeah, I think you might be right. I think I might have heard that. Yeah, yeah.
So apparently I'm having a bit rate issue. Um, could you entertain everybody for a minute? No
Gladly.
pressure. No pressure.
I don't know how entertaining that was, but
That was very entertaining, and it filled exactly the right amount of time. Remember, Embody, there is no agency. We want what's best for you. You're watching the Fringe encounter of Agent 69 and the General, where the General is General Griswold Gaius Grimm, otherwise known as myself. And here with me is Agent 69 from Secret Radio, currently broadcasting only on classified channels, as far as they can tell.
That's until I infiltrate the university perhaps again, but I haven't decided whether I want to do that or whether it's a Marxist cesspool. So
Well, that's like going undercover these days. You did mention infiltrating the discords, in which I ran
did I
across
mention?
you.
Did I say infiltrating the Discord?
I think
Did
you
I
said
use those words?
infiltrating the community thereof.
Oh, that was my local community, but maybe I did that and I just wasn't aware of it. You see, I don't always remember things. It's kind of a memento type thing. So,
Perfect.
and I'm not always aware of my motives, apparently.
All right, well, stop and look around and make sure you don't have a tattoo and or like post-it note maybe with my picture that says "Do not trust this guy." Otherwise, um, so the rumor in my files it says that you're currently operating on such as the Awakening from the Meaning Crisis Discord.
Yes, I am. I am. Although I am branching out a little bit, but yes, that is where I primarily reside. The Awakening from the Meaning Crisis Discord. Yes.
So can we get the narrative version of how your attention ended up there? And what
Well,
are your motives if you want to confess them?
yeah, early COVID. I was having a lot of bleed between Achilles, Ernest, Hipster, and yeah, and Koki. These are the other members of the collective, and I was needing some intellectual outlet to discuss some of the ideas that I had, but I was also like probably maybe having a little bit of trouble with, as you would say, my programming. And I ended up on the Discord, which was quite intriguing, where I met people like Iron Root and Mr. Mark Lefebvre, and
Our favorite reptilian around here. Oh, but, okay, but let's stop at the ended up at, and go to like, was it? Were you watching a lot of YouTubes?
I was watching a lot of like, well, I think the path, if I'm not mistaken, started with Jordan Peterson,
It
and then it
usually
led
does.
to Pei Zhao, and then it went to Vanderclay, and then Vanderclay was talking about this thing called Discord server, and I thought, wow, that's great. There will be maybe some other people that I can like relate to on some different level that I'm not finding in my community, my local area network, so to speak, is like kind of like I'm not exactly connecting or vibing in a lot of ways, and so there was a desire to reach out, um, yeah. So I thought I'd try it. I thought it wouldn't be great, like talk to different people about different ideas or whatnot, and then
So officially, you got pulled into the bridges of meaning first.
no, actually, ironically enough, Vanderclay had a post that led me to the awakening for the. He was talking about the awakening for the meaning crisis, so I ended up there first, which is weird.
So I'm pretty sure
Actually, no,
that's
no, that's
still.
not.
Okay, go ahead.
That's true. That's where I ended up first. But yeah, I also like delved into a couple other servers. Like I ended up on some weird political channel with a bunch of young kids that could obviously tell that I was much older than they, talking about politics and stuff. And then somehow I ended up on the Awakening for the Meaning Crisis server. Yeah.
I think that still goes into PVK's win column. Like as far like the Discord cut he gets for bringing people onto the platform. I'm sure he's getting compensated by like 10 cent, whatever the Chinese people that take all the information off of Discord are. I'm sure PVK is getting the cut for all the people he's bringing on board. And I think you're gonna go into his bonus, not Vervaeke's, despite the awakening from the meanest crisis.
Yes, that I don't know. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but like I definitely like Mr. Vanderclay a lot. So
They're luring people to Canada, where Americans have to be double injected to attend through an event this
yeah,
September. I'm very
yeah.
remorseful I don't get to attend.
Well, I could say something about my current system, but I don't think it would be wise.
Some
Long
can,
live the socialist government of the province in which I live.
of the province in which I live. I'm
Must
sorry,
be
guys.
like,
I gotta go with the American project right now, but I empathize with all of you in Korea.
well, it's just because currently the section of Canada that I live in, if that would be maybe perhaps a better term, the section that I live in, because there's only so many sections, is enabling me to spend most of my time on Discord and yeah, read books and not have to work. So yeah.
It's like UBI, but you don't get to decide what you buy. I mean, that's our reputedly has a great social security system. Um, I don't. I am not taking advantage of the one I have, as they require you admit things about your mental health and such that I don't approve of.
uh,
I don't like some things
uh,
being on record in their records. There's
Unfortunately, I have that thing as a result of the Psy attack that resulted in during the Y2K of 1999, and a little event that I call the Kobayashi Maru scenario, which I don't really want to go into. Is highly traumatic, but yes,
that's
I did. I
unfortunate. I
did.
use the meme.
I did end up in another. Well, I lived in another section. Well, you just call them sections instead of provinces. So I was in another section, ironically, section 9, maybe. I don't know. But
Yes, yes.
so I did end up institutionalized for a moment, and they held me and they said that you can leave, but you have to sign this paper saying that we can incarcerate you at any time. So I no longer
Nice.
live. I no longer live in that section, and I no longer want to live in that section. So now I live in this other one. So
Excellent. I too have done my Nurse Ratched experience. How can you not after seeing the movie? They make it so appealing. But yeah, I mean, there's pluses and minuses to every situation in which we find ourselves.
So the and I will admit to having a diagnosis, although I think there's more to it than may appear. I am diagnosed as schizoaffective, but I like to reframe it as effectively schizo. So
Why we could just make it effective. That's what we do here. We take affective and make it effective because
that, no, it should be. I think you're right. Effective was supposed to be part of my shtick, and I screwed it up. So
yeah, through the power of the internet, we can reinforce this stochastic behavior. But you know, you only live once according to them. Like if reincarnation's true, you guys are gonna so regress all the safety precautions you took during this one. Um, so having ended up from the Peterson funnel into the Vervaeke Discord server, would you say at this point you found it beneficial to have been thusly surfed?
I'm having trouble processing that information. This is Koki. I'm having trouble processing,
Are you glad
articulating
you
what you're
ended
asking.
up on the Awakening Discord server after having landed on it all these times ago? I don't know how long
Yeah,
ago it was that you ended up
yeah, it
on
was
it.
like early COVID actually, early COVID. Yeah, I met a lot of really good people, and and I met some people that are definitely help. I'm learning a lot, put it that way. So yeah.
About how to manage like daily life in this material plane that looks an awful lot like a dystopic
Well, I'm learning an awful
apocalypse.
lot about. I'm learning a lot about the meaning crisis and kind of engaging with a bunch of philosophy that I'm not remembering. Although I feel that I'm working the muscles of my mind. So yeah, I don't know. You're yeah, I don't know. I do. Although I do wonder all the time why the hell am I on this server all the time, spending so much time on the internet with these people from all these wide area networks from other sections of the world.
All the fringe, like playing around in the fringes in a Discord sewer. But like if I asked you to and I wouldn't publicly, you could like start filling up a hand with a relationship you value, right? And then
Yeah, yeah.
weigh something else against that. And I would suspect that because you're spending the time, that the weight of this one would be more. Um, have you started any practices? I understand that the Viveki
Oh yes.
fellas
Yeah, yeah.
into those.
I found a lot of those really beneficial, to be honest. And yeah, I don't know. Hmm. Tact and diplomacy in talking about the Waking from the Meaning Crisis server is my prime. Must be taken.
I have a
So, anyways.
reputation to maintain. I can
So,
be
anyways.
47% completely honest.
So, so the some of Vervaeke's practices have been very helpful, and like we've been engaged in different groups. Like we do dialogos, and that's been good. And then I meditate every day with the Sangha. Not always with the Sangha. Quite often I will meditate on my own and then go into the Sangha. And there's sort of like two Sanghas. There's kind of like European ones that are later for me because I'm in Pacific Standard Time that are in the evening, and then there's the morning Sangha, and each
All
of them
right,
have like different.
for people who grew up on corn dogs, what the hell is a sangha?
Okay, a Sangha is where you meditate and then you have a chat about your meditation or whatever your journey, and then depending on which group you're in, there will be a different dynamic. So
But so like if a group of fellas got together and took shrooms and then talked about it afterward,
would that be a
how
Sangha?
different from a sangha would that be? I mean, isn't
you
that
know that
the purported power of meditation? Is that you can have a
yeah,
psychedelic experience without the hallucination through discipline and
yeah, I don't know.
attention
Yeah, it's
control?
interesting. It's been a while. It's not been since oddly enough since 1999 that I did tremendous amounts of psychedelics that summer. Corresponded also to the Y2K. Although when I asked hmm, when I was let's see, what should I tell? What should I share? Yeah. So anyways, yeah. meditation? Yeah, it takes a lot longer to get anywhere with meditation and stuff. I think meditation for me, it's different than shrooms, but yeah.
Are you having well? You're clearly having experiences with it that make it worth continuing to do.
Yeah, definitely,
So
definitely. And kind of getting.
had you had any meditation practice before this Discord influence?
I've been meditating on and off for a long time, and I find it useful. Like I don't know, for some reason, meditation just seems to be part of it. It's like I've done so many trips into the psychedelic realm. I punched the LSD ticket so many times that I can only get so many return tickets. If you know what I mean.
The
So it's
something
like,
something diminishing returns, as I understand it.
yeah. So yeah.
So like I presently see meditation, or not meditation, relevance realization as sort of this
hmm
napkin ring, okay? And
hmm
like consciousness goes, like you can scale it up and down through the napkin
mm
ring, but this is generally what you're dealing with. This is like this spinning wheel that's always processing information.
mm
And it would seem to me that meditation would give you like greater control of the sphincter of the spinning wheel through disciplined
Yeah.
attention.
Yes. And the thing that I find too is okay, like how would I compare it to a psychedelic? A psychedelic experience is obvious, right? Like it's out there, right? The synchronicities are really apparent. But I think with meditation, you get in touch with the more subtle energies of your body, like why am I? Oh, I'm feeling this, or I'm noticing this, and then it's like, what is that about, right? And you get in touch with the more subtle energies of it, and then for me also, like, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so aside from the meditation practice, you said you've started some other practices through this Discord.
yeah, the dialogos, which is an interesting practice, which is kind of like Vervaeke's practice of okay, like for one instance, one thing that so a lot of it's about developing character, right? So like we will take a virtue, and then we have this practice where like one person tries to describe what the virtue means, right? And then another person listens to it, and then they kind of like they prod them with questions, and then the next, and then they share, and then through each other, through a process of like philosophia, as opposed to philosophia, like as opposed to saying no, this is what it is, or we kind of collectively through a process of collective distribution, or I can't remember all the fancy Vervaekeism. You need like a freaking dictionary to talk to some.
That's part of the. It's cultish, but
Yeah.
remember, everybody, there is no agency, and we want what's best for you.
Yeah,
Um,
but I have found some of the dialogos practice useful, and then I'm in a couple book clubs too, which are neat. We're doing the Wisdom of Hypatia, which is interesting, and yeah,
it sounds
talking
like
to,
you're going through enough, such as like should there should be a degree for it after you've been doing it long enough.
yeah.
But they masked a blind elephant game on
Mm,
virtues as this thing called dialogos is a little
yeah.
off-putting because
Oh, really?
had I heard, hey, we're going to be going through the virtues this week over at the Dialogos Hall, then I would have made sure to wake up in time for all the morning events I miss. I am making a concerted effort to be there
It's
at the
interesting.
circling
The,
this
the thing
Friday.
the thing that the circling is good. The circling I really like too, right? And then there's some people that I absolutely adore, like Valeria, who does the circling, and she does the dialogos, and I do a book club with her. And it's kind of teaching you how to communicate in a way, because like so often everything is about a debate, right? And it's about like hammering your
I do
ideas
not
down.
agree with that. I accept that many others have found themselves in places where that happens, but
hmm
that I'm not encountering very much debate at all in the places I give my attention. Um,
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah.
I'd say the most I get exposed to on Twitter, and I just go there to snipe noobs. So
I don't know much about the Twitter thing, to be honest.
you
I
know
have
that you
only
know
been
that
on.
book 1984.
Yes, I know it quite well.
You know that part with the 4 minutes hate or whatever. 2 minutes hate in the book. That's Twitter. manifest.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh right. Yeah.
It's not pleasant. I wouldn't recommend it unless you're there for marketing purposes to catch new fish new men. I don't see why you'd be there. But
I met some pretty amazing people. There's another lady from Australia that's gone through some of the adventures in psychedelia and the adventures to the other side that I've been through. And so it's very interesting on her. And she's a pretty heavy Buddhist, and she's done all kinds of things, ayahuasca things, and in the thing. And she's a really interesting person to talk to. So there's some pretty good people to talk to. And then I'm learning from everybody, which is kind of like I'm really trying to exercise a beginner's mind and learn from everybody. But some of it is also like I really struggle with how much I have to participate in wide area networks and local area networks. You know what I mean? Like in real life and engaging in real life and
it's a
stuff. I gotta,
diminutive term, as if the time
yeah,
and attention we spend here isn't real. But
yeah, that's true. That's true. So by diminutive, you mean a negative valence, right? That I'm putting a negative
like it
valence on
makes
it.
it smaller and less important when actually it's like the human attention that's fueling so much of what's going on in the world.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Yeah, and I've met people like that are interested in some of these like idea, even like yourself and Nodrick and like the people I met at the thing, like that I would never. The chances of me running into you in my like city are like, or the chance of like there being one other person like you or any of these people that I met in this city even are like slim, and the probability is highly low, right? So
Well, like for you, you mentioned this you really got into it when the Crown event took place, and
uh,
and like since in that environment, it's the virtually not alone. It's Valerie's
mm.
letter from when he's torturing Natalie Portman in V for Vendetta. That
Oh yeah,
like
yeah,
the one little
yeah.
inch you don't give up of human connection. It's
Yes, yes.
but it's awesome that like even this far in after like what looks like they're letting up the dictatorial pressure that
Yes.
these things in these places are still thriving and surviving because of practice.
Although, like, I don't know how healthy the AWFMC server is at the moment, which is a topic that I don't really want to delve into too deeply.
Hmm.
But
It's still
but yeah, it's
alive.
interesting. It's still alive, and then there's other servers spawning off of it too that I've encountered. Right, I've encountered your server, and I've been on line by line with Nodrick, who's on her server and stuff. So yeah, so it's still good, right? And there's still people popping in and stuff. So
There's the
there are it is guarded by dragons, though.
yes, yes. Um, you can always stop by the clock tower. We have a tavern at least that there's like six walls of potential rooms, but you can hang out in the tavern and see people. It's interesting, but
Yeah, that's very cool.
and seasonally it's become not cold out, so these invisible places always seem to swell more in the winter. I
Oh
think,
yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah,
and that's
yeah,
and I can't complain that because like people actually getting sunshine and vitamin D and stuff is way better for their minds, which they then bring to me whenever they
yeah.
so
So how long have you had your server for?
since my truther days, so like I landed in the Peterson web like early enough to try to patron a conversation with him before he stopped it, and like the month he
Really?
stopped was like when I was supposed to earn the benefit, and but I fell away not long after, um, because I was like during the Bible lecture, I'm like, we're all standing here, and all you're telling us is to clean our room. You've got a whole fucking army, and you're just saying clean your room, support the system, And then, but like I hadn't done my due diligence. I'd just been mindlessly absorbing it. But it's like what has spawned off of that funnel has been a fascinating exploration and a great place to meet people. And I see
Yeah,
so
yeah,
much potential for this playground. I'm just maintaining the place and looking for other people who can see the playground because
it's fast.
yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
it's fascinating the way the media kind of conditions us. Like it's a new way of interacting through this kind of like media of like, and it is a kind of form of media. Maybe that's the wrong word. Maybe I don't like that word.
The
I don't
media
think I like
is
that
the
word.
message, according to
Yeah,
McLuhan. So yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, like, does anybody like who's involved, such as ourselves, like realize like what the mimetic name of Discord does to everything we do here? Like
Yes. Well,
every
well, there is. I can tell you from my experience on Awakening from the Meaning Crisis, and you may know this. There is Discord on the Discord, and it drives me crazy.
it's it, but it's like divides people into servers also.
Yeah. Oh,
Like
that is
how tight a
that is.
box are they putting somebody's attention? How spread out are we when we're in those walled silos? Um,
Yes.
I think that's part of why PBK's thing does so well is because the constant YouTube content that keeps tying everyone back together. Um, just theorizing how things are working here.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Yeah, and the amount of people that are making YouTube videos and stuff. I wonder if it's like, I don't know. I always want to use Verbachiism, but it's like, yeah, combinatorially explosive or whatever. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. But I was saying the media thing was kind of interesting because I watched you on Vanderclay, and then when I saw you, it's almost like you think that you're on television or something, right? It's like there's that guy that I saw on the media. He's a real person. There he is, Starstruck or something, right?
There
It's
is
just
no
like,
fourth wall. That's always been like my originating core message
oh
was
yeah,
like
yeah,
there is no everybody here is just a person. There is no agency. It's just people larping different shit. Like
yeah.
somebody like a professional means they profess to do it and people pay them for it. It's
Uh,
they're just people. There's this fourth wall layer where like, ooh, your audience now.
yeah, yeah,
Welcome,
yeah.
relax. We'll take care of everything. Just be in the audience. It's all okay. And that's a LARP you're participating in. Welcome. I have a hive mind chat. Instead, you're not just audience. You're thinking with us and think with us, or just watch. You can, if you want to be audience, I'll let you. But good luck on your saving throw.
So now I'm an older gamer. Like I sent you a couple posts. Like I go back. So it's interesting. Like secret radio, I have a fascination with spy stuff. Originally, I was at in the other section that I was involved. I was at another university doing a radio station in the '90s, right? And it was called the Aging Jaded Pseudo Indie Hipster, or on my Facebook thing, it's AGPH 1.0. And then his personality got fractured and he became Agent69 and the Klaatu, which consists of what. But anyways, where am I going with this? I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, but like yeah, I was fascinated with the gaming thing. So like a long time ago, I remember buying my first box of like the basic D&D set. It was like in this red box, and then I have this. I'll show you.
You still have it? That is very intense.
No, I got suckered into selling all my original like players handbooks and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I must practice non-attachment and get rid of books. And the guy at the used bookstore was like, ha ha ha. And
Sucker?
I kind of regret it. I kind of regret it to this day, but I did find this. So
Whoa, that is old school.
yeah, and it's got some kind of campaign that I wrote when I was like in junior high or
Ah,
something.
so you've been a dungeon master.
And it's got yeah, I mostly played. And anyways, but there were several other games, box games like this at that time, because I think that was before the advanced D&D. And one was Gamma World, and one was Top Secret. And it's kind of funny. In Top Secret, I didn't understand the rules of the game because I thought it was like where you acquire abilities. I can't remember how D&D goes anymore because it's been a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But like where you kind of get your skills or whatever, right? But in Top Secret, you obviously go to university to get all your skills. So I picked like all these try to get as many possible skills in many areas as possible, and it kind of manifested that way in my life in a weird way because I ended up getting like the first 3 years of everything and the first 2 years of everything and the third and fourth years of a biology degree. And I thought like, why the hell did I do that? I got nothing. Like I just went to school forever, and I thought that reminds me of that fucking filling out that character sheet in Top Secret, right?
That was my dream job, going to school forever.
Oh
And
yeah,
I mean, I love learning is the best. Having to figure out how to apply it to your life is the worst. So going to school
yes,
forever is the best.
yes,
That's why it's good that you've managed to get into practice of some practices, because that the
yeah.
implementation is the thing and not my strong suit. But thanks to the power of others' attention, this is one I seem to be able to have some consistency with and hold together. Thanks to the shadow cabal of production executives.
Yeah, that's excellent. That's excellent. That'll make the meta move, the circular move. This seems to be going quite well, Grizz.
It's
Yeah,
good. To,
thank you very much. This is a great experience.
we have things you could help with. I see. I'm running a radio and that sort of thing gave you a skill set, and to people launching their combinatorial explosive collection of YouTube channel and networkings, a lot of those skills are shovels. I'd like to be able to offer people, because like this guy hangs out here. You can probably get in a chat, you know. So
Yeah, that'd be neat. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like in my radio show, I would have like a different I would have like, and it's on my webpage, and like I think you might have even heard one. I had like the introduction, and then I'd have the introduction, and it would be kind of like a take on a spy thing. But then I'd change it, and I'd sample different things into it. And I'm at this university that's very very woke, and I'd sneak in little things on Verbaki, or like sneaking bits of BOM, like Vanderklay or whatever, and like sample it into these, like, do you remember, like, they used to be called culture jamming in the 90s. I don't know if you remember that term. It's where you take all the media
in the
and
'90s, I was
recontextualize.
honestly watching Friends and shit. So
Yeah, you're probably, yeah. So like, but anyways, it used to be called culture jamming, where you take the all the influences of the corporate media and you kind of recombine it to, like, create this kind of subversive piece of art, right? So at the
subversive,
beginning
you
of
say?
my maybe not, maybe that's not the right word.
See, I would think that's you were creating things that gave people bonuses to their savings throw against corporate media,
Yeah, that's great. I love that. I
and
love that.
that
That's an
apparently
excellent
used to be
phrasing.
called culture jamming. Who knows what we're going to call it next season? Stay tuned, and thanks for your support.
Yeah. So I would have like these little things in it, right? Like for instance, like there's one that has Andrea with the bangs in it, and yeah. Anyways, interesting things. And there's a narrative, but it was fun. I would create all these different things, and then the actual, like, performing to the show wasn't as exciting, because like it was cool when there was another guy there, but then eventually it got to be just me by myself, wondering if anyone else was listening to me. And I had some input, because I had this like weird Facebook channel that I started writing, because I addiction is part of my history, right? And there was a time where I was thought I could amp up my creativity and my productivity and my intellectual capabilities with methamphetamines, and that just kind of helped the dissociation.
It worked for
So,
Ayn Rand, though. You
well,
know,
I thought Philip K. Dick, he had the guy that, Philip K. Dick, obviously Blade Runner, et cetera, et cetera.
mm-hmm.
He wrote a lot of books, and he had a lot of ex-wives, but he couldn't make that much money off of his writing, so he had to write a lot of books for all these like little kind of magazines and stuff like that. But to keep that pace up, he took methamphetamines to keep the pace up, and then that's kind of affected his writing. Like he's got ballast, where he comes in contact with this vast intelligence and stuff like that, and
That
all of his stories are like crazy.
For those of you with Amazon Prime, the story of Valis is available as radio-free albumuth. They made a movie of it. It's
Did they
fascinating.
really?
Yes, I've seen it like 3 times. I've never
Really?
read the book though.
And have you seen anyways, so where was I going with that? So anyway, so I thought that I was inspired by Kurt Vonnegut and Philip K. Dick, and I was kind of like, that was all part of the quasi-fictional sci-fi narrative that I thought I was living out in reality, right? But then I realized that the methamphetamines had to go when I was talking to someone, and I gapped out for a second. I didn't know where I was for a moment, and she said, "You don't have multiple personalities, do you?" And I went, "This is getting way too real." So it was manifesting itself beyond the art collective of the Secret Radio collective, right? So
Yeah.
that,
Some people like to keep the meat space and what's in their head
oh.
separate for everyone's safety. Some people
Yeah.
some people are members of the fraternal regiment of embodied narcissistic sociopaths and don't really care if it hurts you. Let you decide. Arlian says your CD collection in the background is making him very jealous.
CD and vinyl, and a
Oh.
shitload of books, and of course there's yeah. So yes.
Now we can check Jordan Peterson's influence with that camera pan. Oh, shit. Oh. Well, where
Where are we? Where should we go? Shall we continue?
yeah, but let's run a clip of the Badman fella's latest release while I go get some nicotine to balance this out.
Sure.
Yeah. So oh, it's in the town square. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, Embody, this is brought to you by the Shadow Cabal of production executives and people like you. Town square is here. Oh, goodness great. And the fumble. Ah!
I really appreciate my sometimes my kinetic sense of quick talking and switching around random references doesn't work so well, but it seems to be going okay.
I can keep up in general. Everybody can totally hear you right now.
Yeah.
But I'm juggling the what's on the screen, so it's you're having a typical experience, I think. All right, here's like 3 minutes of audio. Once I change properties.
When you're on your own, there's no enemies. I can't afford it, so it's ask you please. And how have you been? 'Cause everyone's your friend. And I remember back when we were young, didn't have to lie so goddamn much. You could get away with calling space. So I'm voting blow popsicle stamps. Only if you're gonna take my hand. Let me paint a picture for you, you and me. On the top down, the city can be make-believe. Air's thin and the ghosts around me. Next stop, anywhere that you're next to me. It's whimsical, 'cause where we go, yeah, we fly. We're whimsical. When we're on our own, we have fun, okay? In lieu of or with victory milkshakes. The tiny tab, it keeps on running up. And I remember when we started out, equal measures, wonder, fear, and doubt. Seemed like we were always sorta circling round. And don't tell me it wasn't how it was. I remember so very much. And we drive a lesser man in
every other time. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Fringe encounter of Agent 69 and General Griswold Gaius Grim of the First LARP Ingression Protocol himself. Oh, wait, that's me. That's me. Here's this old guy's face for a second.
One last question. Suppose, Lord Russell, this film were to be looked at by our descendants, like a Dead Sea Scroll in 1,000 years' time. What would you think it's worth telling that generation about the life you've lived and the lessons you've learned from it?
Stay tuned for the rest of that clip, because now it's me and Agent 6. What? Why? What are you? Oh, because I'm sharing. If I share with you, that happens to me. It's us again. Hey, everybody. That was a great the serendipity engine provided that to us, right? Like, that was completely unintended, but it said, tell us, Lord Russell, Lord Bertrand Russell, so tell us, Agent 69, suppose this film were to be looked at by our descendants like a Dead Sea Scroll in 1,000 years' time. Don't forget to turn his audio back on.
I guess it
What
depends on how.
What would you think it's worth telling that generation about the life you've lived and the lessons you've learned from it?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'm working on that one. I guess it depends on how the campaign turns out. Oh, I know. Don't concentrate on the finger. It's like a finger pointing away to the moon. Don't know it. How does it go? You know that one? Don't look at the finger. It's like
Smell the finger.
Yeah, pointing away to the moon. Don't Can't remember how it goes. Anyways, be like water, something.
Yes, that's what you tell the future generation. Let me plug the Alien Salience project. Since you have D&D experience, here goes. You leave your current situation, and you wake up in a bar of some sort where there's nothing in the room but the bar. Like, there's not even really walls. And there at the bar is this gaseous form. And having nothing else to do, you approach the gaseous form at the bar, and the gaseous form communicates to you through a method you don't know, but it's in your head, and you can tell it came from him somehow through senses you're not attuned to. You know that the message came from the gaseous form across the bar. And the gaseous form across the bar says, "What's it like being human?"
Smelling. No, that would be the gas. I don't know.
What
I
smell?
feel.
Gaseous forms
Yes.
don't have nose.
Sweaty. Yeah, exactly. Mind.
What's it like with your attention and awareness being trapped in that meat sack for 70 years? Like, they're trying to sell me a ticket. They're saying, come on, gaseous form, be a human for a life. It's great. But I don't trust it. I mean, what are the ups and downs? What is it worth the cost of admission? And how does one make it worth the cost of admission while one is there?
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel suddenly blocked in my communication patterns.
All right. Secret information we can't reveal in this episode.
Yeah.
That's fine. We have this. You give us the happiest moment.
You know what the problem was my Rick and Morty programming. We're going to talk about the Moon Man or something.
The Moon Man is a lady from the 40s.
Oh,
That's what I see when I look up there. Either that or a dragon egg.
Ooh, dragon egg. Very cool.
Never know when it's going to open. And that's when the fun starts.
Ooh. I don't know which was more terrifying, a dragon egg or an alien egg. But,
well, only if they're the xenophobic ones portrayed to us from Hollywood. I mean, just the notion of alien egg is a completely whatever potential. Unlimited potential in that answer.
That's good. It appears that I'm a little bit more locked into my programming than you.
You've
You've acquired some agency.
Have I? I can LARP it anyway. All right, what is the best part about being human that comes to your mind in response to that question? What's been your favorite part?
Well, so you see, this is the struggle. Having been a former nihilist, I'm still kind of discovering that, so to speak. I don't know, music is the best part of human.
What
Yeah.
true or false? The best part about nihilism is like the soul-wrenching screams you can drag out of your awareness.
that
Like
that utter pessimism of just wanting to live long enough to see the world burn. I'm kind of glad I got over that, to be honest.
you
That was
probably
not a
will
fun place to
though.
be.
That's the thing. The solar flare could be on its way, and we won't know for another seven
so
minutes.
so early warning signal.
All right.
The
Well,
early warning signal. Wow, sir.
let's see what Bertrand Russell had to say in answering that question as a close. I thank you so much for joining me, Agent 69. I try not to make these too long.
Yeah, that's excellent. As you can tell, Koki, who is autistic savant, he is nonverbal though. He is beginning to take over my programming, so my thinking is becoming slightly artistic. Artistic. Yeah, artist. Anyway, something.
It's perfect. We take all kinds around these parts, my friend. Oh wait, don't forget to change the audio. Bertram.
About the life you've lived and the lessons you've learned from it.
I should like to say two things, one intellectual and one moral. The intellectual thing I should want to say to them is this. That is the intellectual thing that I should wish to say. The moral thing I should wish to say to them is very simple. I should say, love is wise, hatred is foolish. In this world, which is getting more and more closely interconnected, we have to learn to tolerate each other. We have to learn to put up with the fact that some people say things that we don't like. We can only live together in that way. And if we are to live together and not die together, we must learn a kind of charity and a kind of tolerance, which is absolutely vital to the continuation